Chapter 1. The Secret Power of Listening. What if I told you there's a secret power in listening? A way to learn English faster than you ever thought possible. Sounds interesting, right? Well, today I'm going to share something that could change the way you learn English forever. Many people think that listening is just about hearing words. They think, I can understand English by reading and watching movies. Why should I focus on listening? But here's the truth. Listening is the key to mastering English, and there's a reason why. Imagine this. You're in a conversation, and the other person is speaking fast. You catch some words, but miss the rest. You feel lost, right? This is where listening comes in. Listening is not just about hearing sounds. It's about understanding the meaning, catching the flow, and following the story. Let me tell you something interesting. Active listening is a superpower. When you listen actively, you're not just letting the words pass through your ears. You are paying attention to how words connect, the pauses people make, and the emotions behind the words. It's like putting together a puzzle. Piece by piece, everything starts to make sense. But here's the twist. Active listening is just the beginning. There's another technique that's even more powerful. It's a secret method that makes you understand English faster than anything else. This technique has helped so many students, and it can help you too. But I'm not going to reveal it just yet. Before we get to the secret, I want you to remember this. Listening is more than just hearing. It's about understanding the world through words. Imagine being able to follow any conversation, enjoy English podcasts, and feel confident in any English-speaking situation. That's what listening can do for you. But we're not done yet. There's more to discover. You might be thinking, what is this powerful technique? How can I use it? Don't worry, the secret is coming. In the next chapter, I'm going to reveal something that will sharpen your mind and make you a listening expert. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. And remember, if you want to practice more and improve your listening, you can visit my website, The Online, where I post more stories and podcasts to help you get better at English every day. Stay tuned because the real magic starts in the next chapter. Chapter 2. How Listening Sharpens Your Mind. You made it to Chapter 2, and now the journey gets even more exciting. But first, let me ask you, do you want to know how listening can sharpen your mind? What if I told you that listening is like a workout for your brain? Just like exercising makes your body stronger, listening makes your mind stronger. Here's something many people don't know. When you listen, your brain has to work quickly. It has to understand the words, connect them, and make sense of what's being said, all in real time. That's why listening is so powerful. It trains your brain to process English faster, helping you think and respond more easily. There's a famous quote by Ernest Hemingway that says, "When people talk, listen completely. Most people never listen." This is a simple truth. Most people don't really listen. They hear words, but they don't truly pay attention. But you're learning how to listen actively, and that's going to make a huge difference. Let me tell you a quick story. I had a student named Emma. Emma found it really hard to focus on listening exercises. She would say, "I don't like listening. It's too fast. I can't catch all the words." I told her, "Emma, you don't have to catch every single word. Just relax and focus on the main idea." I suggested that she start listening to stories and audiobooks. Stories are fun and easy to follow, even if you don't understand every word. So she started listening to simple English stories. At first, she missed a lot of words, but slowly, her brain got better at catching the key parts. And guess what? After a few weeks, Emma's listening skills improved. She was able to understand more and more, and soon, she was enjoying English podcasts too. Here's where things get even more interesting. I promised you in the last chapter that there's a secret technique to becoming a master listener. Well, we're almost there. Before I reveal it, let me tell you about another listening tool that can help you right now. Have you ever heard of shadowing? It's a technique where you listen to someone speak in English and you repeat what they say right after them. This technique helps you match their speed, rhythm, and pronunciation. It's like you're walking in their footsteps, but with words. But I'm going to save the full explanation of shadowing for later. For now, let me give you a tip. Start by listening to short clips or podcasts. You don't need to understand everything right away. Just listen to the flow of the language and try to catch the main idea. Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. Stephen R. Covey. This quote reminds us of something important. Listening isn't just about replying, it's about understanding the message behind the words. When you focus on understanding, your brain becomes sharper and faster at processing English. But hold on. The best part is coming. In the next chapter, I'm going to reveal the real magic trick that will make listening your secret weapon in learning English. It's a technique that has helped so many people speak better, understand more, and feel confident in English. Are you ready to unlock the power of shadowing? Stay tuned for Chapter 3, where all will be revealed. Chapter 3. The Magic of Shadowing. Welcome to Chapter 3. And now it's time to reveal the secret I've been talking about. Shadowing. This is the technique that will change the way you learn English. And trust me, once you start using it, you'll see big improvements. So what is shadowing? It's simple. Shadowing is when you listen to someone speak in English and then repeat what they say immediately after. It's like being their shadow. You follow their words, their speed, their rhythm. You are copying them in real time, almost like an echo. This might sound easy, but it's one of the most powerful ways to improve your listening, speaking, and pronunciation skills all at once. Let me tell you about a student named Mark. Mark was really shy and didn't like speaking English. He understood a lot when he listened, but when it was time to talk, he froze. I introduced him to shadowing, and at first, it was hard for him to keep up. But I told him, keep going. Don't worry if you miss a word. Just follow the voice and try to copy as much as you can. After a few days, Mark started to feel more comfortable. He listened to podcasts, repeated the sentences, and soon he was speaking faster and with more confidence. The best part? His pronunciation became clearer too. Shadowing helped Mark sound more natural when he spoke, and he didn't have to think too much about grammar or vocabulary. Everything just flowed. Here's how you can try shadowing. Choose a simple audio. Start with something short and easy. These are designed for beginners, so they're perfect for practicing. Listen to a sentence, play the audio, and focus on one sentence at a time. Repeat after it as soon as you hear the sentence. Pause the audio and repeat what you heard. Try to match the speaker's speed and pronunciation. Don't worry about mistakes. The goal is to keep up with the speaker, not to be perfect. If you miss a word, it's okay. Just keep going. Here's a famous quote from Maya Angelou that fits perfectly here. Do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, do better. This is exactly what shadowing is about. At first, you might make mistakes, but each time you try, you'll get better. Why is shadowing so powerful? It helps your brain learn the rhythm of English. You're not just learning words, you're learning how real conversations sound. You're learning how native speakers link words together, where they pause, and how they stress certain words. This is something you can't get from just reading books or watching movies. Imagine this. You're having a conversation in English, and the words come out naturally. You don't have to stop and think. Your brain is used to hearing English, and now it knows how to speak it too. That's the magic of shadowing. There's another reason why shadowing works so well. It helps you build your confidence. The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll feel speaking out loud. You'll start to notice that you're not just understanding English, you're living it. And that's the goal, right? Listening is an art that requires attention over talent, spirit over ego, others over yourself. Dean Jackson. When you practice shadowing, you're doing more than just repeating words. You're learning the art of listening deeply and speaking confidently. But we're not done yet. There's one more technique that will make shadowing even more powerful. In the next chapter, I'm going to teach you how to break down what you hear into small, easy-to-understand parts. This will make listening and shadowing even easier for you. So, are you ready to take your shadowing skills to the next level? Stay tuned for Chapter 4, where I'll show you how to master the art of listening in chunks. Chapter 4. Mastering the Art of Listening. You've made it to Chapter 4, and now it's time to take your listening skills to the next level. In the last chapter, we explored the magic of shadowing, but now I'm going to show you a technique that will make listening even easier. Listening in chunks. What do I mean by chunks? Think about it like this. When we eat a big meal, we don't eat it all at once, right? We take small bites. The same goes for listening. Instead of trying to understand everything at once, we can break the audio into smaller pieces, chunks, and focus on one part at a time. Let me tell you a story about a student named Lily. Lily loved English, but she struggled with listening to long conversations. She would often say, "I can't follow everything. It's too fast, and I miss the important parts." I told her, "Lily, don't try to understand everything at once. Break it down into small parts and focus on one piece at a time." So Lily tried listening in chunks. She listened to short clips of podcasts and videos, just 10 or 20 seconds long. She played them over and over until she understood each part. Little by little, her listening skills improved. She could now follow conversations without feeling overwhelmed. Listening in chunks means taking small bites of audio and really focusing on them. Here's how you can do it. Choose a short clip. Pick a podcast or audio that is less than 1 minute long. You can find simple English podcasts on my website, thestory.online, which are perfect for beginners. Listen to the first chunk. Play the first 10 to 20 seconds and listen carefully. Don't worry if you don't understand everything the first time. Repeat the chunk, play it again and again. Each time, you'll catch more words and understand more. Move to the next chunk. Once you feel comfortable with the first part, move on to the next 10 to 20 seconds. This technique helps your brain focus and process the language better. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by a long conversation, you can take it piece by piece. It's like putting together a puzzle, one piece at a time, until the whole picture becomes clear. There's a famous quote by the Dalai Lama that says, "When you talk, you are only repeating what you already know. But if you listen, you may learn something new." This is exactly what listening in chunks is about. By breaking things down and focusing on each small part, you are learning something new every time. But that's not all. Listening in chunks also helps you with shadowing. Once you've practiced a small chunk of audio, you can shadow it. Repeat what the speaker says, just like you did in Chapter 3. Since you already know the chunk well, shadowing becomes easier, and you can focus on perfecting your pronunciation and rhythm. Let me give you another tip. When you're practicing listening in chunks, don't rush. Take your time with each piece. If you don't understand a word or phrase, replay it. If you still don't get it, write it down and look it up later. This process helps build your vocabulary, and soon you'll start recognizing words more easily in conversation. One more thing to remember. Listening in chunks is not just about understanding the words. It's about understanding the meaning behind the words. Pay attention to the tone of voice, the pauses, and the emotions. These small details make a big difference in how you understand English. Here's another great quote, this time from Epictetus. "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Listening carefully and in chunks will help you become a better speaker because you'll know how English really sounds in conversation. Now that you've learned about shadowing and listening in chunks, you're building powerful listening habits that will help you become fluent in English fast. But there's still one final secret to mastering English listening, and it's one of the most important parts of the process. In the next chapter, I'm going to reveal the ultimate key to success, something that, if you do every day, will guarantee that you improve faster than ever before. Are you ready to find out? Stay tuned for Chapter 5, where everything comes together. Let me tell you about one of my students, James. James was excited to learn English, but often felt like he wasn't improving. He would listen to English for an hour one day, and then skip a few days. He asked me, "Why am I not getting better?" I told him, "James, it's not about how much you listen in one day. It's about how often you practice. Try listening for just 10 minutes a day, every day, and see what happens." James listened to my advice and started practicing every day. Sometimes he listened to podcasts. And guess what? Within a few weeks, James noticed a big improvement. He could understand conversations better, and his confidence grew. The magic wasn't in long hours of study. It was in the small daily steps he took. There's a powerful quote by Tony Robbins that says, "It's not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives. It's what we do consistently." This means that small actions repeated every day lead to big results. It's true for everything in life, and it's especially true for learning English. Here's how you can use consistency to improve your listening. 1. Set a daily goal. Start small. Maybe it's just 10 minutes a day. The key is to be regular. 2. Use different resources. Some days listen to a podcast. Other days listen to a story or audiobook. Variety keeps things interesting. 3. Track your progress. Keep a simple log and write down what you listen to each day. This will motivate you to keep going. 4. Celebrate small wins. Did you understand a new word? Did you follow a conversation without pausing? These are small wins and they matter. Celebrate them. Consistency doesn't mean being perfect. Some days will be harder than others, and that's okay. The important thing is to keep moving forward. Every time you listen, your brain gets a little bit better at understanding English. Each day you listen is a step closer to fluency. Here's another quote to keep you going, this time from Confucius. "It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. Even if progress seems slow, as long as you keep practicing, you will get there." Let me tell you one last story. There was a student named Clara. She wasn't the fastest learner, and she often felt discouraged, but she made a promise to herself to listen for 10 minutes every single day, no matter how busy she was. Slowly, she started to see results. After a few months, Clara could understand movies without subtitles. She could follow conversations with friends, and it all happened because she didn't give up. She didn't try to do everything at once. She just stayed consistent. Consistency is the real secret to success. It's not about being perfect. It's not about understanding everything right away. It's about showing up every day and making small steps over time. These small steps will lead to big improvements. Now that you've learned all these techniques, active listening, shadowing, listening in chunks, and staying consistent, you have everything you need to succeed. Whether you're listening to podcasts, stories, or conversations, you are building the skills that will make you fluent in English. So, what's the next step? The answer is simple. Keep listening. Make it a habit, make it fun, and watch your progress grow. Visit thestoryspeak.online for more stories and podcasts that can help you practice. And don't forget, every minute you listen brings you closer to your goal. Remember, the world is full of opportunities, and English is the key to opening those doors. You've got the power now. It's time to use it. I hope you have enjoyed the journey.